Hello, my name is Carmen Batista. I'm a chemist and I work in Cementeers Research and Quality Center in Aalborg, Denmark, as a white cement application specialist. It is a pleasure for me to share my experiences in ultra-high performance concrete with you. I hope you find it helpful and entertaining also. UHPC is now part of my everyday life and I love it. So I hope I can also make you curious about it because it is a very interesting material, and in my own opinion it is worth to study deeply because it has the potential to become one of the most used construction materials in the future. What are we talking about when we talk about AALBORG Extreme Light 120? We're talking about a white color high performance concrete dry mix with a new binder technology. It's an all-in solution ready to use. Just add water. The super plasticizer is included in the dry mix. It's a self-compacting material, a shrinkage-reduced mortar, high aesthetic durability and mechanical performance tested and proven, and it has the possibility of tailorization by the end producer by adding the selection of fibers that the end producer would like to add, pigments and coatings. So we take the bag or the big bag of AALBORG Extreme Light 120. For each 25 kilos bag, we add 195 to 2.1 kilos of water, and then when we mix, after 10 minutes of mixing, we will have a white self-compacting minimum 120 megapascal compressive strength after 20 days and durable material. There are a universe of applications that hasn't been explored yet with UHPC. Same with AALBORG Extreme Light 120, but if we have to point at some of them, I would say that we will have, for example, UHPC products with low bearing elements where the strength requirements is around 130 megapascal, lightweight high strength panels like facades, cladding, sunscreens, ornamental elements, artistic and ornamental elements made in concrete, wet cast tiles, gardening, street architectural elements. So when we talk about AALBORG Extreme Light 120 properties, in terms of fresh stir properties, the initial flow is more than 900 millimeters, meaning that it's a self-compacting material, as you can see in the video here. The flow retention is at least 45 minutes. Air content is 1%, and the maximum particle size is 3 millimeters. So here you can see one of our first trial castings at a customer site with 0.8% of volume of glass fibers and the lowest range of water dosage, because that was one of the customer's requirements. You can see that the material is able to flow by itself with no need of vibration. And yeah, I will let you just to see the video. These are the properties without fibers of our material, the harden state properties. We have a shrinkage of less of 600 microns by meter at 90 days, setting time between 6.5 to 7 hours, a very high one-day compressive strength. In prisons will be more than 85, also in 150 by 300 cylinders, and 150 by 150 cubes, 100 megapascal, and 28-day compressive strength, more than 135 in prisons and more than 120 in big cylinders. The E modulus around 50-51 gigapascal, and we also made and measure lots of durability parameters like chloride content and alkaline content and chloride migration and water absorption. They're all in the very good range of durability parameters, but if you want more information about them, you can always consult the product specifications datasheet, where we go more in detail with all these properties, and you can also see there according to which standard we measure them. It is well known in the UHPC industry that the mixing of high and ultra high performance concrete is different than for standard or concrete. Due to the very, very low water addition, it needs a lot of energy to be mixed. So very, very high efficient mixers need to be used. In the case of Aalborg Extreme Light 120, we recommend that the first time that the customer mix it, used a lower capacity than the total capacity of the mixer, between 20 and 30%, and then the batch size can be adjusted afterwards. The material will look dry at the beginning for the first 4 minutes, but not more water needs to be added, because due to the chemistry inside the product, it will become fluid after that time. And compared to conventional UHPC technologies, silica film based, quartz flour based, etc., Extreme Light 120 will exhibit a short period of clay-like consistency, where you will see the formation of nodules, but they will start breaking after, like I said, 4 to 5 minutes of mixing time, and then the consistency will be completely fluid. It's important, don't stop the mixing process until the end of the recommended mixing time, that is around 10 minutes. And if the customer would like to add fibers need to be added after the material is fluid, meaning about 6 minutes after water addition. Drum type mixers are not recommended for UHPC. It's recommended planetary mortar mixers or pine type concrete mixes. So now you can see in this slide the mixing sequence for Aalborg Extreme Light 120. As any other UHPC, the mixing time is long, between 8 and 10 minutes, in order to allow the superplasticizer to be completely dispersed and start acting in the system. In any UHPC, and Aalborg Extreme Light 120 is the same, the conditions for the superplasticizer are hard due to the very small water to binder ratio. In this case, it's around 0.20. So we have divided the sequence in different times. In time 0 is when you add the dry mix to the mixer. And of course, if you want to add some powder pigments, this is the moment to add them, and you need to mix the dry mix for between 30 seconds and 2 minutes maximum, and it will depend of your mixer. You have to check the first time you do it. And the dry material should look homogeneous. And then we add the water. At the beginning, the material will look dry. After 2.5 to 3 minutes, the material will form nodules that look clinker-alike. If you have seen clinker, you must know what I'm talking about, but it's like little balls. And then from 3 to 3.5 minutes, the material will agglomerate due to the clay. This part is the rougher for the mixer, but only lasts 30 seconds. And if the mixer is very efficient, it can last even less. Then between 5 and 10 minutes, the material is fluid. And if you want to add fibers, you should add the fibers around 6 minutes, so the material is already fluid enough. And then mixing until complete mixing time. And as I said before, it's very important, do not add extra water to the material. You just have to wait for the proper mixing time, around 5 minutes, and it will get perfect consistency. Adding extra water can cause segregation and bleeding, and of course lower strength. And if we have fibers, the problem will be even higher, because we will also have segregation of the fibers in the material. For the majority of the castings, Aalborg Extreme Light 120 does not need vibration, as you saw in the video before. But of course, if the user wants to get it vibrated because it wants to have a very detailed shape, or the content of fiber is very high, then of course it's allowed to vibrate it. It's not going to cause any harm on the final product. In terms of curing, our recommendation is to protect the element from evaporation, meaning that it can be covered with a plastic sheet, or it could be a curing agent can be applied on the product. All this to avoid self-desiccation of the elements that you cast with AALBORG Extreme Light 120, but the practices are also used for traditional UHPC and even for traditional concrete elements. So you just have to be careful that what you do does not allow self-desiccation of the elements. And now I would like to close this presentation with some points to keep in mind. UHPC or HPC is a growing technology due to its workability, making it very easy to cast very challenging shapes, strength, ductility, and versatility. Going for UHPC allows to reduce the thickness of the elements, keeping the best mechanical and aesthetical performance and saving, for example, transportation cost and raw material cost. Using a pre-mixed UHPC material will save R&D cost, time, and also will guarantee the quality of the final products. AALBORG Extreme Light 120 is a new HPC technology which has the advantage of HPC products in terms of mechanical performance, plus a high level of whiteness and opportunity for customer tailorization by adding pigments and the selection of fibers and fibers dosage that best suits the application. Due to its self-compacting nature and long opening time of around 45 minutes, AALBORG Extreme Light 120 is perfectly suitable for an industrialized, automatized precast production process. So it can be introduced in the precast factory easily. And so, this is the end of my presentation. In the name of the INY team, I would like to thank you for listening to it. I hope you got a better idea about the UHPC basics, and I invite you to send me your questions to my email, carmen.ruiz@cemeteryholding.it. I will be more than happy to answer your questions or your comments about UHPC in general or about AALBORG Extreme Light 120. Have a nice day. Keep in touch. Bye bye.